Page 50, Joe Turner. It's a blues piece. Okay, we could use a blues piece, I reckon. Let's look it over. It's a page long. It's actually longer than that, but there's a page of music to learn. I'll come back to that later. Treble and bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature, so this is not in D minor. It's either in C major or A minor. Those are the keys with no sharps or flats. And we look at the end here, the last couple measures. I'm guessing we're in C major. Even though the last chord is that mess, well, it's a blues piece, but it's in C major. So make sure you're doing the scales for C major and A minor. And you ought to know those scales well enough, and now you should be doing them 2 octaves up and down. Yeah. At 4/4 time signature, we have a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 3. Take the right hand first, because we got accidentals everywhere. When I'm playing blues or jazz or something, I expect plenty of accidentals. Here, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. It's a dotted rhythm, but the short note's first. 1 and. 1 and 2 and then they want you to come over here. It's rather awkward. You can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. If you're doing the arpeggio, you have to do that anyway. However, we just don't have to cross over the thumb like that. So what I'm going to do, rather than third finger here, I'm going to scratch up and use fifth finger here, and then reach down. I didn't cross over the thumb. So again, from the beginning, it's 1, 2, 3, the little finger. Reach down. And you need to be able to do that anyway, so that's fine. Even with little hands. And then going on, measure 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Remember measure 6, that E flat's good for the rest of the measure. So both of those are E flat. And that's about it until you get to the end, that last chord, that wonderful looking thing. Well, the notes are the B, D, and F, but the B has a flat in front of it, so it's a B flat. And the F has a sharp, so it's an F sharp. Oh, I need more coffee for that, or wine, I'm not sure which. Yeah. Left hand. Well, left hand's a C and a B flat. And here. And they want thumb on all of these. I mean, this business of here, this is a common pattern for blues or boogie woogies. And what I typically do is on the lowest one of it, here, I would use second finger. I don't need to use thumb on all of those. So it would be here, and then 2. Each time I do that, I'm going to use a 5-2 on that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Measure 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And measure 5 down here. Same pattern, but I'm 5-2 now for that one. And then come back and do it again. And measure 9, you're here. Now, on measure 9, because measure 10 I need the F. For the second chord in measure 9, I'm going to use 4. That way my little finger's ready for the F. I don't want to go here. I can, I just don't want to. So I'm going to go 5-1, measure 9, 5-1, 4-1, and then 5. Reach down. And for measure 11, you don't have to cross over there either. I can do here 4. I get them all in one hand. I'll leave that up to you. On these others, there's more notes than that I have to cross over, so I just use the fingering in the book. But here I don't. So I'm going to use the 4-3-2. Now for measure 12, for your here, the last note is a G with an AVA under it. You go down. If your keyboard's too short, just play the lowest G you have. It's close enough. And the last line, you're up here. Again, 4. That way the 5's ready for this. And I'm going to do a 4 there also. Now, if you can't get your hand up in here, you got to do that. You have to use 5. But if you can play measure 14 with thumb on the E flat, then for the second one, I'm going to use a 4 on the F. This way, my little finger's ready. And here I can use 3. that's okay there. It's a personal taste. You can use 1/5 on all these if you want. But I prefer to use 4 on some of them. Then I'll put the hands together and see what mess. Now I'm liable to hesitate all over. I don't care. 2. Now if it'll help you at the beginning in the right hand, because if you're going to do that, if you want to just start on 3rd finger, you're in position. You can just start it on 3rd finger there at the beginning in the right hand if you want. Then measure 6. Right when I play the D, the left hand comes up because it's the 3rd beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. Anyway, I'll put the heads together and then I go back over it slowly and carefully and I work out any hesitations. So it's a steady beat. And then I can add the articulation. And here's just the phrasing. And then lift up. It's like taking a breath. Of course, at the end of the 2nd line, you have to lift up. There's a rest, so that helps you out a little too. The left hand, I'm going to connect it as best I can. Just whatever. I can't connect these, but I'm going to get as close as I can. And then the dynamics, MF at the beginning, and that's really about the only one they give you. Mezzo forte, that's the melody. These chords need to be soft. Keep them in the background. Here, you can bring that out a little bit if you want to, but don't drown that. We want to hear that melody note through. Now you'll notice at the measure 12 there's a repeat sound. Well, the 3rd line is 1st ending and the last line is 2nd ending. Okay, so at measure 12 you're going to repeat back to the beginning. So there's only 3 counts in that measure 12. 1, 2, 3, and you lift up. Another reason to use 3rd finger when you do that, because you're using thumb here. I don't want to use thumb again if I can help it. So just use 3rd when you go up. So 1, 2, 3. Watch the counting there. And then when you play it the 2nd time, you skip the 3rd line because you played it 1, and go straight down to the last line. Speed, slow blues. Not too slow. Don't, because I would like to play this more or less in a blues style, which means I'm going to swing the rhythm. And you can't go too slow when you swing the rhythm. When you slow down a lot, then you got to even the rhythm out because it doesn't swing anymore. But rather than 1 and 2 and, I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Put pedal on at the very end, and that's typical with blues. They'll add the overtones on the very end, and usually they'll give you a fermata there so you can listen to that stuff even longer. So at the end, the last measure, you put the note down first, and then the pedal, and then you lift the pedal in the hands at the same time when you're ready. If you want to hold that out a little longer and pretend there's a fermata on there, it's fine with me. It's part of interpreting it. It's like the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2 here, 2 here, T. Feel the natural accents on this. Let's play it very slowly together and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do louds and softs. I will swing the rhythm though, and we'll do the repeat and all that. So I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. I'm not going to do the pedal at the end. You can do pedal on your own. 1, ready, go. Rest. Rest, repeat.